Students, good morning. Okay. So this is your fifth class of your subject, that is kinematics of machines. Okay, and my name is Chetan Jadhav from Mechanical Department, Jain College of Engineering. Correct. And in previous class we have started with that is the first module, that is Introduction to Kinematics of Machines and Mechanism. Okay, and in that I'll go through the headings directly. Okay, we have completed this part: kinematic link and its types, kinematic pairs and its types, then what is kinematic chain and what are the different types of kinematic chain, that is a 4-bar chain, single slider crank chain and double slider crank chain. Then after that we have discussed one more topic known as mechanism. Okay, mechanism. When you are going to fix any one link of a kinematic chain, it will become a mechanism. I have given so many examples of a mechanism. I have shown animations also. I'll briefly go through that. And also we have discussed machine, okay, which is nothing but a group of so many mechanisms and structure. Okay, and between this kinematic chain and mechanism, there is one more word called as inversion. Okay, today in this class we are going to discuss the topic known as inversions. Okay, inversions, and what are the types of inversions of a 4-bar chain, then single slider crank chain, then double slider crank chain. Okay, remember today's topic is inversions that comes between a kinematic chain and mechanism. When you're going to convert a kinematic chain into mechanism, it means you are doing some modification in the kinematic chain so that you'll get different mechanisms. Okay, for example, if a 4-bar chain is having 4 links, okay, if you are doing some modification, if you are fixing first link, then you'll get one mechanism, and if you are fixing a second link, you'll get one more mechanism. Similarly, you'll get 4 different mechanisms by modifying some link dimensions or fixing the links of a kinematic chain. Okay, don't worry about that. Directly I'll go to this one, that is mechanisms. I'll show animation once again, then I'll go to the word that is inversion. Okay, okay, so this was a kinematic chain definition. I given an example, that is a 4-bar chain, which is nothing but a group of so many kinematic pairs in which each link traces certain path. Each link or each element is following certain rule. It may be a circular path, it may be oscillating path. Okay, so that we can call it as a kinematic chain. I have given some example also. You can see the path which the point is tracing. It is definite. Always it is same. Also, it was also an example of a kinematic chain. Then we discussed what are the conditions to be satisfied so that we can call a group of kinematic pairs as a kinematic chain. These were the 2 conditions, and I explained 3 cases also. First case, that is a locked chain. Case 2, constraint, that is kinematic chain, and the last one, unconstrained. Okay, based on the conditions, if the LHS is equal to RHS, I can call it as a kinematic chain. Otherwise, it is a locked chain. Otherwise, unconstrained, based on the LHS value, whether it is a greater than or less than. We have discussed these 3 cases in the previous class, right? Also, we have discussed what are the types of kinematic chain. That is a 4-bar chain. Okay, it is having a 4 links, starting from a frame, a crank, a coupler, and a rocker. Correct. Then, if you are doing some modification in this, if you are going to replace that is a rocker with the help of a slider, you can see the frame is fixed. That is a cylinder. Okay, and the crank is again red color rotating. That is also same. The green color is the coupler or connecting rod. Okay, if you are going to replace this a rocker, that is a blue color, by a slider, that is a piston, it will become a single slider crankshaft. That is only modification, okay, in the single slider. The last one, can see there are 2 yellow color sliding elements which are sliding in a different path. Since there are 2 sliders, I can call it as a double slider crank chain. Okay, this plus color frame, this is nothing but a fixed link, that is called as a frame. That is a similar to railway track, can consider. Okay, and these yellow colors can consider as a train. The train is moving in a certain path. In this case, I can call it as a slider. Okay, and you are connecting both the sliders, both the yellow color elements, with a pink color one more element. That is nothing but a coupler. Okay, the link that connects both the slider is nothing but a double slider. Don't worry about this, and I'll explain in detail in the further classes. Okay. Today I'll go through this one, 4-bar chain, and what are the inversions of this 4-bar chain. Okay. And so this was a mechanism. Okay. I given what is a mechanism and what is a kinematic chain. Okay. So this is a kinematic chain in which neither any link is fixed. Okay. So all the links are free. If you're going to fix any one link, for example, I'm going to fix the frame, so it will become a kinematic mechanism. Okay. If the neither of the link is fixed, it will be a kinematic chain. Okay. So this is the symbol. Okay. This is a symbol of a 4-bar chain. This is a symbol of kinematic mechanism. Okay. Or 4-bar mechanism, you can say. Okay. Frame is fixed. Then, as I said, when you're going to convert a kinematic chain into kinematic mechanism, correct? When you're going to convert a kinematic chain into kinematic mechanism, so there's one more word called as inversions. Okay, I'll discuss that topic that comes between a kinematic chain and a kinematic mechanism. So this is also a mechanism in which the link is fixed. So these were the mechanisms we have discussed in the previous class. You can see at least one link has to be fixed to the frame, then only I can transfer the motion from the input link to the output link. Okay, you can see this wiper of a car, which is fixed to the front glass of a car. Okay, here it is also fixed. You can see this also fixed. Okay, it's a fixed link. So this was a ratchet and pole mechanism. Okay, all are mechanism. Okay, if any one link has to be fixed. Then we discussed a machine, which is nothing but a group of so many mechanism. Steering mechanism, braking mechanism, okay, a driving mechanism. So combination of so many mechanisms comes a single word. It makes a single word, that is a machine. So that you can transfer the energy from a human being. Okay, you can convert a mechanical energy into again a rotary motion. Then we have discussed the structure, correct? It's also a group of so many kinematic links, but there is no relative motion between each link. Okay, it is also made of so many links or elements or parts. There is no relative motion at all. All are fixed, which acts as a load carrying members, so that you can call it as a structure. Okay, and we have discussed the difference between a machine and structure. Okay, so if there is a relative motion exists between the parts, it comes under machine. If there is no relative motion, it is a structure. Example for machines are a lathe machine, milling machine, a bike, bicycle, all comes under machine. Structure means bridges, buildings, and towers. Okay, so please note down today's topic is inversion. Okay, inversion. Please write down this. So this is an important topic. Okay, so again, what I will do is take a rough diagram of this one. Okay, so this is a 4-bar chain. Link 1 or kinematic element 1 is frame. Okay, I'll give the naming this as frame. So this has a second link, a crank. Third one is a coupler. Fourth one is a rocker. 4 kinematic links. Okay, and they'll make a 4 joints between frame and crank. There is one joint. This is also one more, one more, one more. 4 links, 4 joints, and 4 kinematic pairs. Frame and crank they'll form one pair. Crank and coupler they'll form one more pair. Coupler and rocker one more. Rocker and frame they one more. Okay, totally 4 kinematic pairs. Group of 4 kinematic pairs I can call it as a 4-bar chain. Generally you can call it as a kinematic chain. Okay, now what I will do, so I'll fix any one link of this 4-bar chain. First I'm going to fix this frame. Okay, I can see, so in the image, so I have fixed the frame. Okay, it is fixed to a certain flat form. Okay, then you can give input motion to this crank. Okay, you can connect this crank to a motor so that the crank starts rotating in a circular path. Correct? Okay, as this starts rotating in a circular path, you'll get the output motion at this rocker. Okay, you'll get the output at this part, that is a rocker. The rocker is going to trace oscillating path. So this was, I think, it was shown in the previous class, the animation of this 4-bar chain. Try to recall the that animation of this 4-bar mechanism. Okay, it means after fixing any one link, it will become a kinematic mechanism. Then what about this inversion? So whether it is the same as kinematic mechanism or it is a different. Okay, I'll say that why you're only you are fixing only frame. You can fix the crank also, correct? Okay, and you can fix the coupler also. You can fix rocker also. It means by fixing different links at a different time, okay, you'll get four different mechanisms. For example, what I will do, instead of fixing this frame, I'll fix the crank. You can see in this figure. You can see the word crank is fixed, correct? The crank is fixed. Then I'll give the input at this coupler and I'll get the output at this frame. Okay. In this case, since the dimensions of coupler and the frame are almost same, you'll not get a rotary path. Okay. It'll the coupler also follow an oscillating path. The frame also it will follow an oscillating path. Okay. It means you are modifying this kinematic chain as per your requirement. Okay. So that you can fix different elements at different time. Okay. If you're going to fix a frame, it will become a mechanism. So again called as a inversion one. Inversion and mechanism are same, okay, but you're getting different mechanisms at a different time by fixing different elements. So I can call this as a inversion one, okay. So this is a inversion two. Next, instead of fixing this crank, I'm going to fix this coupler. You can see here in this image the coupler is fixed, so that you can give the input at this crank and you'll get the output at the rocker. Okay, so this is the inversion 3 of a 4-bar chain. And finally, instead of fixing this coupler, you can fix the rocker also, correct? You can fix the rocker also. So in this case, you can give the input to the coupler and you will get the output at the frame. Okay, so please, anyone can define what is the inversion now. Explain in detail. Just explain in your own words what is the inversion. Anyone, please try to define this. What is the inversion? If it is a mistake also, no problem. Please at least make an attempt.
Sir, mechanism in which one of the link of kinematic chain is fixed.
Okay, that is also correct. That is also correct. Almost near to the answer. Okay, I'll define in such a way that inversion. It is a method of getting so many mechanisms. Correct? You got four mechanisms. First one, second one, third one, fourth one. It means it is a method of getting different mechanisms by fixing different links at a time. Means first I'm going to fix the frame, I'll get one mechanism. The second one I'll fix the crank, I'll get one more mechanism. Similarly, a third mechanism and fourth. Okay, all are inversion only. It means I can define inversion is a method of getting so many mechanisms by fixing different elements or by modifying some elements of a kinematic chain. Okay, so please take down a rough sketch of this one. Okay, same figure. Okay, so this is inversion 1, inversion 2, 3 and 4. Please take a definition. It is a method of obtaining different mechanisms by fixing different links in a kinematic chain. So this method is known as inversion of a mechanism. Remember, always the inversion word comes between a kinematic chain and mechanism.
Okay. Hello.
Tell me. Any doubts?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Sir, some students are there, sir. Please admit them, sir.
Okay. Because when the presentation is on, no, I'll not be able to admit. Okay. Yeah. Please take a minute and take down the definition. You can take a rough diagram of this for inversion 1 of a 4-bar chain. Okay. All are the inversions of a 4-bar chain. Since the 4-bar chain is having a 4 elements, I'll get 4 inversions. Inversions are nothing but a mechanisms, but there will be some modification. When you compare this and this, there will be some modifications. The length also, sometimes you can modify the length also. Okay. Shall I move to the next one? We'll discuss what are the different inversions of a 4-bar chain.
Wait, sir.
Yeah, once you are done, please let me know so that I can go to the next slide. Okay, please take on this one. Okay, the inversions of a 4-bar chain. Okay, after discussing what is inversion, then for your syllabus, I think these are the three inversions. Okay, I can call these are the examples of inversions of a 4-bar chain. As I said, 4-bar chain is having four inversions. Okay, but in the first inversion only. Okay, and the frame is fixed. Okay, these are the three examples of first inversions. For your syllabus, only these three examples are there of the first inversion. Second, third, fourth are not there. And remember, the first inversion, the frame is fixed. Remember, the first inversion, the frame is fixed. Whether my voice is audible or not, anyone please.
Yes, sir. Audible,
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Okay, please write down this because I'll get at least a definite question on this 4-bar chain or single slider chain on the inversion only. Okay, one question is fixed on the inversions. Okay, inversions of a 4-bar chain. These three will come under the first inversion. Means three examples of first inversion. With the first inversion, the frame is fixed. The first inversion, the frame is fixed. The first one is a coupling rod of a locomotive. Then comes beam engine. Then next one is Watt's straight line indicator mechanism. Okay, Watt's straight line indicator mechanism. The competitive exams also will get this questions. What are the inversions of a 4-bar chain? You'll get four options. You'll be able to define which inversion comes under which kinematic chain. Okay. Now, first I'll list down the inversions of a single slider also, because there are for your syllabus there are three chains, correct? One is 4-bar chain, single slider chain, then double slider chain. First, what I will do, I'll list down the inversions. Okay, already I've listed the inversions of a 4-bar chain. Okay, the next slide. So I'll consider the inversions of a single slider crank chain. Okay, this is the second chain, second kinematic chain. Please note down these 7 inversions. Okay, so these third one and the fourth one are very important. I'll cover these two. From the exam point of view, these are very important, and you'll get at least one question, either a crank and slotted lever mechanism or Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. Okay, write down these also, these 7 inversions. So this third one and the fourth one are important. In the notes I'll mention, I'll explain all these 7. I've given all the 7 inversions, but most probably you'll get only these two, 3 and 4. Remaining are very very simple. You can go through that. Okay, first one is a reciprocating engine mechanism. Second one is the oscillating cylinder engine mechanism. Third one, the crank and slotted lever mechanism. Fourth one is a Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. Then the fifth one is a rotary engine mechanism. Sixth is a bull engine mechanism. Finally, seventh is a hand pump mechanism. Just write down, make a star mark of this third one and the fourth. Please take a minute and write down this. Yeah, I'll list down the inversions of this double slider also. This is the double slider crank chain. Okay, so it is also having 3 inversions. First one is a elliptical trammel, then Scotch yoke mechanism, then Oldham's coupling. Elliptical trammel, Scotch yoke mechanism, then finally Oldham's coupling. These 3 are there for your syllabus. 3 kinematic chains. First one is a 4-bar chain. Second one is a single slider crank chain. Third one is this one, double slider crank chain. Please write on this also. So this topic was explained in the previous class, correct? So first what I'll do, I'll take this one, that is a 4-bar chain. Out of the 3 kinematic chains, I'll take the first one, that is a 4-bar chain. And remember the name of all the links. It is having 4 kinematic links, link 1, 2, 3 and 4. This has to be 4, make it as a 4. Okay. Again, once again take this. And this is the animation. Once again, please draw this 4-bar chain. Now I'm going to get different inversions by fixing different elements. Okay, so for your syllabus, only the first inversion is there. What I will do, I'll consider this 4-bar chain and I'll fix the frame. Okay, then I'll modify some dimensions. I'll increase the size of a crank, coupler, rocker, and I'll get 3 more examples of a first inversion. Okay, so in the bracket I have written, so the fixed element is this frame. So whenever you can see the frame is fixed, it comes under first inversion. Okay, second link is a crank, it is a rotating part. You can see the bracket I have written. The exam also write down like this only. Okay, in the similar manner, in the point wise only, just write. And link 3, that is a coupler that connects the crank and the rocker. It is also oscillating. Okay, and link 4 is this one, rocker. It is also oscillating. Left, right. Please see this one. Okay. Now I'll consider the inversions of a 4-bar chain. Correct. Already I listed down. What are those? First one is a coupling rod of a locomotive. Then Watt's straight line indicator motion mechanism. Then one more is a beam engine. Okay. So those are the 3 inversions of a 4-bar chain for your syllabus. Okay. In all the 3 inversions, the frame is fixed. Okay. And based on the applications where you are using those inversions, I can call it as a beam engine, coupling rod of locomotive, Watt's straight line indicator mechanism. Okay. And one more topic I have discussed is the Grashoff's law. Okay. If this crank has to do a complete rotation, the 4-bar chain has to satisfy a condition, that is a Grashoff's law. So which is nothing but this one. This was discussed in the previous class. Okay. The crank is the shortest link out of these 4, and the lever is a rocker is a longest link. Okay. This law states that for a planar 4-bar chain, okay, the sum of the shortest and longest link, that is L2 and L4. Correct. L1 is a frame, L2 is a crank, L3 is a coupler, L4 is a rocker. The sum of the shortest and the longest link, it should be less than or equal to the sum of remaining 2 kinematic links. Remaining means a frame, that is L1, and the coupler is L3. This condition has to be satisfied, then only we'll get a complete rotation of a crank. Okay. So this was discussed in the previous class, and I'll go to the types or the inversions of a 4-bar chain. In that, I'll go with this one, coupling rod of locomotive. Already listed down here. Okay, I'll take this one, coupling rod of locomotive. Please take on the next heading. Okay, coupling rod of a locomotive. Coupling rod of a locomotive. I'll take another 5 to 10 minutes. I'll try to complete first 2. Okay, these are very simple mechanisms. So first I'll start with this coupling rod of locomotive. Okay, so please note down this figure. The examination you can write. Okay, since it is an inversion of a 4-bar chain, it is having 4 links. Okay, this AB is one link, one kinematic link. I can call it as a link 1. Its name is frame. Correct. And as I said, the first inversion, always the frame will be fixed. Okay, and this AD is a crank. Can give any namings. I'll start from this also. This also crank. Since link 2 and link 4 are rotating, you can see the circular path. I can call this as this also crank, this also crank. Okay, AB is link 1, BC is link 2, CD is link 3, DA is link 4. Okay, link 1 is a frame, link BC is a crank, link CD is a coupling rod, link DA is also crank. Okay, and sometimes since it is having two cranks, so it is also called as a double crank mechanism. Remember, so coupling rod of locomotives is also called as a double crank mechanism. So I'll show an animation. Later you can take this pic. Okay, so you can see the animation of this coupling rod of a locomotive. So the backside one rectangular element is there, that is nothing but a frame, which is a fixed. Okay, so that to that frame there are two wheels, you can call as a crank. Wheels are nothing but the cranks. The rotating parts are always called as a crank. These two wheels will constitute two separate links. Okay, frame is first link. This left side wheel is one more link. The right side wheel is one more link, and you're going to connect wheel 1 and wheel 2 with a last link, that is nothing but a coupler. You're going to couple both the wheels, so its name is coupler or connecting rod, both are same. And just in the bracket just mention the type of motion. The frame is fixed, crank is rotating, coupler is oscillating, and crank is also rotating. Please make down this as a 4, link 4. You can give any namings. Okay, it means can say that if you are going to connect a motor to this first wheel, okay, we are going to connect a motor to this first wheel, so you can transfer the rotary motion from this point to this point, correct? It means the function, the use of this coupling rod of a locomotive is to transfer a rotary energy, a rotary motion from one point to another point. Okay, the input is also rotary, and whatever the output you are getting, that is also rotary. Can anyone tell that where it is used, coupling rod of a locomotive?
In train, sir. In
Pardon me?
locomotive engine, sir.
Correct, correct. So that is nothing but this one. Power transmission between the wheels of a train. That is nothing but a locomotive, correct. So whatever you have said, that is correct. It means each wheel are connected to another wheel with help of this coupling rod of a locomotive. Okay. So this is you can see the first wheel or second wheel, both are connected with the coupler, and the fixed element is a frame. Okay. It means you are transferring the rotary energy. Yeah, please mute your audio, Dayanand. I think Dayanand. Okay. Okay, it means you are transferring the rotary energy from one shaft to another shaft. Okay, so please note down the features of this coupling rod of a locomotive. In rough, the examination also you can write down like this. Don't write a paragraph. Only write the answers in points. Okay, first the diagram should be neat. Okay, indicate all the links, elements, which is fixed, which is rotating, which is oscillating. After that, just list down the points. What are the features of this mechanism? Okay, first one is it is also having 4 links. Correct. Since it is a inversion of a 4-bar chain, it will be having 4 kinematic links. Second one, it is also called as a double crank mechanism. Why? Because since it is having 2 rotating part, it means 2 cranks, so I can call it as double crank mechanism. The examination can the question may be like this: explain what is the double. Yeah, anyone? What is the doubt? Okay. Since it is having 2 rotating elements, I can call it as a double crank mechanism. And the next point is it is used to transfer the rotary motion from one point to another point, as I explained. Same. Application is again power transmission between the wheels of a train. Okay. And one more feature is the speed of both the wheels is same. Why? Because you can see in the first image, the length of link AD is same as length of link BC. And also, the length of this link AB and link DC it is same. Okay, since the dimensions of both the cranks are same, the speed will be same. Okay, whatever the speed you are getting at the output and the input, both are same. Okay, so just draw this block diagram so that no need to explain in a paragraph. Only these points are sufficient. We're converting a rotary motion into rotary motion. It's very simple. So if it is done, I'll go to the next one.
Wait, sir.
Okay, please take a minute. You can note down. Once you are done, please inform me. And after the class, at the end of the class, I'll share one Google Form link. Just open that and give your attendance. Okay. At the end of the class, in the chat box, in the chat box itself, I'll post a Google Form link. Just open that and mention the name, roll number, semester, and total number of classes you have attended so far. Okay. So this one is, I think, 6th hour, maybe the 5th class, but the number of hours I have taken is this one, including this, is today's class is 6 hours. Okay. Okay. I'll let you know at the end of the class. I'll let you know. Then, if it is clear, I'll go to the second inversion, that is beam engine. Correct. These are applications of coupling rod of locomotive. Okay. Definitions, figure, and this applications. Okay, and the features are very much important. So here the wheels are not connected to the motor, but they're connected to an IC engine. Okay, they're converting chemical energy into a mechanical rotary energy, and that output is transferred between the wheels with the help of this 4-bar mechanism. Specifically, it is a coupling rod of locomotive. Then just take down this one, beam engine. Just draw this figure. You can take a rough diagram. Okay, please draw this. So again, it is also example of just let me wait. Just make a correction. This is link 4. Yeah, it is also an example of a first inversion. That is, frame is fixed. You can see here. This is a frame, the platform which is fixed. That will be considered as a link 1. Okay, and this link AB, you can see this one, so which is nothing but a crank. I have shown the path of this point B. It will trace a circular path. As I said, if it is tracing a circular path, you can call that particular link as a crank, which is link 2. Link 2 and link 1 are connected by a rotary joint. Remember, the type of joint is a rotary joint, and the type of pair is turning pair. It means link AB can freely rotate or turn with respect to link 1, so I can call the type of pair is a turning pair. Okay, remember the 4-bar chain will be having 4 turning pairs. Between each link there will be 4 turning pairs. Okay, then after this, AB is connected to a connecting rod. You can see this one, BC, so which is nothing but link 3. I can name that link 3 as a connecting rod. Okay, and the fourth one is this CE. Okay, it is a single link. Okay, so I can call this link 4 as a lever. Okay, this lever is pivoted at this point D. Okay, so this also comes under a frame because this is also fixed, correct? All the fixed links, they'll come under a single link, including this and this. I'll consider as a frame. Okay, AB is a crank, BC is a connecting rod or coupler, link CE is a lever. Remember the lever, the name lever. It means link 4 is pivoted at this point D with respect to the frame. Okay, means it can oscillate, it can move up and down with respect to point D. I'll give the importance to only these 4 links. Okay, I'll not worry about this piston cylinder. This is the output, correct? I'm getting the output at this point only. Okay, it means as the crank AB starts rotating, the point E will move up and down, correct? It means only this one. This is the input and this is the output. We're getting the output at this point E. That is nothing but link 4. So this one is nothing but a 4-bar chain, and particularly, so I can call it as a beam engine. Okay, so since it is having only one crank and only one lever, this mechanism is also called as a crank and lever mechanism. The previous case, that is a coupling rod of locomotive, since it is having two cranks, that is known as a double crank, but in this case only one crank and one lever, so I can call this as a crank and lever mechanism. Again, it is having 4 links. Link 1, that is a frame which is fixed. Link 2 is a crank, which is a rotating part. Okay, link 3 is a connecting rod. You can see it is oscillating. In bracket you can write oscillating. And link 4 is this one. This is a lever. Link CE, it is also oscillating about the point, pivoted point D. And this is connected to a piston cylinder arrangement. Okay, don't worry about this one. Okay, it means you're converting a rotary motion into a linear motion. Okay, which is used in a compressor. If you want to compress a pneumatic air, you can use this mechanism. Okay, in the industry, for compressors to generate a high compressed air at this point, can use this mechanism. It means to convert a rotary energy into a linear output, linear motion, rotary motion into linear motion. Okay, it will be, the cylinder will be having a inlet and the outlet. Okay, maybe a single acting or double acting type. Okay, the first cycle, in the first half cycle, the air is going to enter this cylinder due to a suction pressure. The second half rotation of this crank, whatever the air that is present in the cylinder, it will be compressed, similar to the working of IC engine. Okay, suction stroke and a compression stroke, so that will get a high compressed air. Okay, this comes under pneumatics. So a separate subject is the fluid power system, which you are going to study in the next semester. It is hydraulics and pneumatics. Okay, so if this is clear, so whatever I explained, please note down the features of this beam engine. Okay, I'll take another 2 minutes. Okay, I'll take another 2 minutes. In the next class, I'll be dealing with the Watt's straight line indicator mechanism. That is a third inversion. Now you can see the animations of this beam engine in the next slide. Okay, the next slide, you can see these are the features. Whatever I explained, you can take it later. Okay, I'll share this PPT. So we're converting a rotary motion into linear motion. It is having 4 links. It is also known as a crank and lever mechanism. Okay, and it is used in steam power plants or compressors where you want to get a high pressure steam or a high pressure pneumatic air. Okay, and you can see the animation of the same thing. Actually, how it looks, the beam engine, how it looks. Okay, you can see at this spot. Okay, applications are steam power plants, compressors. So you can see wherever there is a fixed part, including this cylinder also. Cylinder is also fixed. This is also fixed. This rectangular platform is also fixed. All these 4, whatever the fixed links, they'll consider as a single link, including this cylinder. Okay, only the rotating part they will be considered as a separate links. You can see the blue color wheel wheel is nothing but a crank. Okay, while indicating will indicate only with a straight line. Okay, in the previous figure, but the crank will be in the form of a circle, a circular disc. Okay, this crank is connected to this coupler or connecting rod, the red color. You can see the type of pair or the type of joint. It is a rotary joint or the turning joint. It means the crank is free to rotate with respect to frame, also with respect to this connecting rod also. And you can see the connecting rod is free to rotate, okay, with respect to this lever. This sky blue color you can see, which is pivoted at this point, it is a lever. Okay, frame is first, crank is second, connecting rod is the third one, the lever is a fourth. Okay, and this one is the application point of view. You're converting rotary motion into linear motion. And if you want one more animation, this is also same. Okay, same animation, and this is also same.
Sir, where exactly in steam power plant it is used, sir?
Once again, pardon me, once again, ask.
Sir, where exactly in steam power plant, sir? Like in which process it is used, sir?
It means if you want to run the engines, no, if you want the steam engines, correct, similar to the IC engines. If you want to generate a high pressure steam, okay, after
Okay.
boiling the water you'll get a steam, okay, but that steam is having a less pressure, and if you want to increase the pressure of that steam so that you can do some work similar to the railway tracks, the railway, okay, you are generating some energy, no, that is nothing but a steam that is utilized to run the piston and cylinder arrangement. Okay, the pressure of that steam should be very much high. To increase that pressure of a steam, you need a compressor, correct? For that compressor,
Yes,
you
sir.
will be using this beam engine. This is nothing but a compressor.
Okay, sir.
This
Thank
is a,
you.
so you can see the same thing, whatever I explained, no, that is a steam that is entering here, and this is exiting. This is the inlet. A low pressure steam will enter here. Okay, this is a double acting type of a beam engine, or you can see the cylinder. Okay, so in both the cycles you'll get the high pressure pneumatic air or a high pressure steam. Okay, and in the next class I'll discuss this Watt's straight line indicator mechanism. This is the third example of a inversion of a 4-bar chain. Okay, so if it is clear, I'll wind up today's class. Okay, if any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll wind up today's class. Okay, thank